Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Bart coming to you from EICMA in Milan, Italy. This is November 2024. We grabbed the crew, we packed our bags, flew across the Atlantic, and attended the biggest motorcycle show in the world. What you see behind me is only one exhibit hall. There are many. I believe this show spans 8 or 9 different pavilions. It's huge. It's like a whole city. I want to go through the show and find noteworthy things that I can bring up to you guys. We'll capture the footage. We'll give you all the things that I found interesting. Now, this is with a bias, obviously. I own TST Industries. We do make motorcycle parts. I'm pretty much going to be going over some of the things that I find interesting, or we're going to be actually jumping into the market and making the parts, or possibly racing the bike, or something that I found extra interesting, but we're not getting involved, but still pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoy. Come with me on this trip. All right, we're going to kick things off with Suzuki here. You see me in front of a Busa, but as you may know, we don't make any Busa parts. This has been on my horizon for quite so many years, and I'm getting closer and closer to probably pulling the trigger on making some parts. We're not there yet, but if you guys want to see parts for a Busa, let me know. The GSX 8 series has been a staple product platform for us. Here we see a new colorway of the bike. Nothing has changed mechanically really, but I did notice that they started painting the tanks to match the front cowling. That looks really cool on this bike. I think it looks very aggressive. We have the powder blue here fading into black. Same powder coat color as from last year. Finished up with nice black wheels. The other one I saw is basically a replica of the 8R colorway that we had for 2024. Maroon wheels with silver on top. Right over here. Also looks pretty cool. They've painted the tank to match as well. I think that's a new thing for 2025. Same bike, and we already have massive part support for it. We're already racing the 8R. We have homologated the 8R for our Endurance Series next year, so you'll see us racing that bike all up and down the Eastern Seaboard. That'll be a cool, fun project. I'm excited to do it. I raced Daytona on the bike, and it was a monster. I loved it. So you'll see more of that kind of footage. Let's go grab ourselves some footage of the 8R. Actually, I see a new colorway. Let's go check it out. GSX 8R, obviously, same bike, different colorway. We've seen this only since January 2024, so can't expect Suzuki to make any big changes. It does have a nice graphite metallic bodywork and black wheels. We already make a ton of products for this platform, but rest assured, more products are on the way. Our Works race development platform is launching a couple new parts this next year. We are going to be racing this bike, so look at tstindustries.com for those parts. Suzuki has given us 2 new models of the successor to the DRZ 400. They're calling it the DRZ 4S and 4SM Sport and Supermoto. This model here we see has suspension and wheels and tires capable of going off-road, so this will be the more adventure sort of dual sport bike. The other one's a Supermoto variant. Not much difference beyond that. I'm really enthused with this model because the previous 400 was a great platform for our parts. So the new models do feature throttle by wire. You can turn on and off the rear ABS function. That'll be good for the dirt and if you want to slide around a paved track. I'm excited to make some parts for this one. We will likely buy one of these. Don't know which variant yet. I do like enduro riding, so it'll probably be the S, but I'm gonna try to hop on an SM version 2 and beat it up around a track. Exciting. All right, guys, I'm extra excited about Yamaha. We've arrived at their booth. Took a walk around, and I see a bunch of differences. I'm not trying to play favorites. I'm just reporting the most updates from this booth because these guys kicked out some updates to a lot of the bikes that are relevant to our brand. So you can see here the R3 is sporting a new fascia. They did open up the air induction looking duct. They stuffed a headlight in there to match some of the other R-line motorcycles. They moved the signals from the panel here to the polypropylene panel just under the mirrors. That's gonna be fun to figure out how to put a nice proper signal lamp in. Controls look unchanged, suspension looks unchanged. In the rear we have an exciting new tail. It matches the lineage of the R models. It is a different taillight than R7, R9, R6, R1. However, they did bring in these nice ducts on the side. I think instead of changing the taillight to an integrated version, what I'm going to do is possibly look to outfit these ducts with signal lamps that also have running light and brake light, like we are about to launch for the R7. I think that'll be the right look. The undertail area looks to be pretty much the same well as the previous generation R3, and mechanically it looks unchanged here on the side. Let's walk on over to the other models. Here we have a hot topic bike, the R9. I'm really excited about this bike. We already have one on order. Subframe looks to be the same as in the MT. Taillight is basically the same unit as R6, R7, R1. They did restyle the tail. Man, I really wish they did one of those fin scoops here in the tail, but still very nice styling. Let's go to the front end. There you can clearly see that this is derived from the M bike that circulates the GP circuits. You have an inner duct and outer fins. The headlights look very similar to the R3 version of this bike. Signals are up in the mirrors. Suspension and brakes are definitely different than on the MT model, and it looks to have a larger radiator. Nice wide tank, nice shelves here. Cockpit feels great. I'm a little bit cramped, but I will likely put clip-ons up forward a little bit. Controls feel very, very accessible, very nice. I already have one of these on order for us at TST Industries, so rest assured, as soon as it comes in, we're gonna rip it apart and get going on the parts development. All right, let's go see the new MT-07. This is the new model in the MT family. They have changed the tail light and undertail, so we will have to release new parts for that. Swing arm also looks to be stamped differently. It's still a steel model. It does have these washers still. They just have been brought inboard a little bit. End caps look the same, so we already have parts for that. It does have rider modes. Control box seems to be the same as on the MT-09. Very evident that they've changed the induction to ride-by-wire throttle bodies. So the airbox must be changed also. We'll see when we get our hands on one of these. Frame seems to be unchanged in this region. However, down here, it does look like they changed the rear set attachment area. So there must be a new frame for this model. And the fork is different. We get a new fork for the new 2025 year model, and also a new front end, new headlight. Very cool. I'm going to close out our Yamaha visit on the MT-03. Up front remains fairly unchanged. In the rear, I did notice some cool differences. There is a different taillight on it. However, we already make this taillight, so we'll be ready to go as soon as this thing hits the market. This is the taillight from the previous generation of the MT-07 that now got replaced. Other than that, like I said, it's pretty much the same bike, so we already have a whole catalog of parts for it. Let's mosey over. All right, guys, we've made it to the Ducati booth. I'm on the new 2025 Panigale. Man, this thing is aggressive. The stands here, the cockpit, wow. Definitely would need to get my my feet back a little bit. But man, this is a race bike right out of the factory. I know that Ducati makes many different models that are exciting and of interest to you guys, but this is the one that we've chosen to purchase for next year. I actually have one on order. We're going to get it in as soon as it's delivered. We're going to rip it apart, start reverse engineering, and we're going to bring out a package of parts for you guys to enjoy. The last models that we made a parts package for were the 848, 1098, 1198, and those met some success. I know there was an outcry for tail light, fender eliminator, and our hard part support. for the Panigale series. Finally now, 2025, we're gonna get one in and make that all possible. Now we're gonna hang with Kawasaki for a little bit. I'm gonna go through what hasn't changed, and then we're gonna jump into a couple different things that I noticed that did change. ZX4RR, ZX6, ZX10. Pretty much the same bikes as last year, slightly different colorways. That's about it. 650 new colorway, but again, mechanically and cosmetically, pretty much the same bike. We have seen the proliferation of electric and hybrid bikes. This is one of those bikes. I think they're pretty cool. I don't know how well they're gonna adapt in the United States market, but we already have some parts in case there is a demand. We're good to go. So last year's 500 gets reskinned for this year, but remains pretty much unchanged. Otherwise, looking forward to launching a taillight for this bike. I've been working on that for a couple months now, and I'm getting closer to having a prototype I can show you guys. Let's go over to the Z900. That has changed actually. All right, the new Z900. Kawasaki did in fact give it a facelift. They changed the tail section. Frame looks like it has slight tweaks to it. Taillight is definitely different. Now we did provide a taillight for the previous version. They've changed it substantially. It has a light bar across and brake sections out in the outer field. It'll be a while before I start getting around to this one, but maybe. We'll see if they spread this model, this taillight model, to other bikes. If they do, I'll be more inclined to make that taillight model. Let's go ahead and check out Honda. We arrived at their booth now. There is a newer version of the 600 available in Europe and other markets. It has the same tail section, vast amount of same technology as the 07 and 13 plus model. Not many changes there. But we'll take a look. In our walkabout here, I see a lot of models that look like they are meant for other markets. I have not seen these available in the United States. We have the Hornet here. I know some people have been anticipating this model as it's supposed to be the GSX-8S and also the MT-07 competitor. It's supposed to be the MT killer or whatever people say. Unfortunately, not available for us in the United States. We've got a new CBR 650R. I do believe that this model launched last year. Again, I did not see this in the United States. It does have some nice Ducati inlet features. Definitely a changed body set, different tail light in it. Looks kind of interesting. Oof. Yeah, it's not very aggressive. I don't know if I would put the R moniker on it, but it is a 650. It's not meant for a race demographic. Saw a 500 here somewhere. Same kind of changes. A little bit of a body lift. Here we have the two colorways of the 600RR I was talking about. The front is pretty nicely changed up. It does have an aero package. It does have updated lights, but forks look exactly the same as 13 plus. And swing arm's the same, frame looks to be the same. It does have a quick shifter. It definitely is up spec from the previous generation, but haven't really changed that much. I don't know if I would call this impressive. Same tail light, same subframe, same tail. But you know, we could cross our fingers and see if maybe they'll bring it to the United States and give us something new. Found us a sample of the 1000 RRR. As you can see, this is the one that we've been pining over. It's available in the United States, but only special order. It does have some trick parts right from the factory, and I guess that's how it deserves that price tag. I've seen teams do really, really well with this bike, but man, it's a high price tag for a road-going bike. So I think only those with a fat wallet will be able to score this thing. And like I said, it's a custom order item only. You can still get the regular 2017 and up 1000 RR, but that's not as exciting as this thing. Styling on this bike is really, really excellent. I gotta tip my hat to Honda on this one. Cockpit is quite aggressive. Ergos feel really good. All right, guys, that's it for the show. Thanks for joining us. I hope you found this video interesting. Stay tuned for some new videos coming when we get all these bikes that we ordered, and 2025 is going to be a very exciting year for us. Check out tstindustries.com. Peace.